Ernest Collins. This is my wife, Floretta. We are a team. We've been working together and married for 52 plus years. And we're the owners and operators of Red Hill Ranch in Walker County.
I'm Floretta Collins. My husband just introduced me. We are operators of Red Hill Ranch in Walker County. I am a product of parents that were agricultural in Matagorda County, brought up on the farm with cattle, all types of crops. All of my life I've been exposed to farming background and family.
And I grew up on a farm right outside of Austin, Texas. We grew all kinds of crops as well. And the farm has been owned and operated by members of the Collins family for 128 years. Most of the land is still in the ownership of members of the Collins family. And so my knowledge about agriculture stems from hands-on experience. We're the owners and operators, again, of Red Hill Ranch, and we've been operating here for about 15 years. It's an opportunity that we wanted to pursue. Both of us had careers off the farm. I spent 35 years with ExxonMobil and decided that I wanted to go back to some of the things that I grew up with. After trying to escape, believe me, I was trying to get away from the hard work. And so we came back, and farming operations are a little different today than they were when I was growing up. A little more equipment oriented and a little less physical labor. So we enjoy that aspect of it. So when I was getting ready to retire, we looked for what we were wanted as a retirement location, and we were fortunate enough to find this land here in Walker County. We've been involved in the community for, I guess forever almost. Flo and I met at Prairie View. We're class of 1966, and we've been together since that meeting. We are also supporters of Prairie View. We have established an endowed scholarship fund there. We're blessed to have an auditorium in the agriculture business building named in our honor. And our children attended Morehouse in Spelman, and we have established an endowed scholarship at Morehouse as well. We certainly believe in supporting youth and education, and a lot has been given to us, and we're trying to give back. We appreciate the assistance of NRCS and Floyd's involvement with our operation. I'm a third generation participant in these type programs, and so been a great assistance as we have moved this ranch in the direction that we want it to operate. And so with the assistance of NRCS, we've been able to move in a very positive direction, accomplish a lot of the goals that we have set forward. So we do appreciate the assistance of Floyd and NRCS.
Working with Mr. and Mrs. Collins is a great honor. They have a knowledge and a background of farming and ranching, which is a tremendous asset. At that point, they understand the principles that NRCS offers regarding cultural resources, nutrient management, pesticide management, things of that magnitude. So they do understand the practices that NRCS offers under the different programs. Mr. and Mrs. Collins have been participating within the EQIP program, the CSP program, and some other programs as well. So they do have a good understanding of NRCS as well as the different practices that NRCS offers.
All of this assistance from NRCS, as well as the extension service at Prairie View, been very helpful. We were away from the farm for 30 years or so. And so my knowledge and my operating practices were mirrored after my father. So they were, 40, 50 years old. I had to update them. And so they've been a great assistance in trying to update the practices now that I have come back to the land. So we certainly appreciate their support and their knowledge and guidance to assist us in making this a better operation.
Richard and Laurel Brown. I consider them a hero because years ago, when they were young with 6 children, they always spoke about wanting to own their own land. At the time, they were working on someone else's land. They had 6 children. But my mother came across an article in the newspaper, just a little blurb of an article that stated that land can be purchased through the Farm and Home Administration. And she cut that little piece of information out and showed it to Dad. And as a result of finding that and working on that, they were able to purchase. This happened when she saw the article. It was in 1939, and they worked toward purchasing land using this government program. February the 9th, 1940, they purchased 128 acres in Matagorda County. And they moved from where they were living to Matagorda County and built a home, barn, feed, houses, everything that they needed that I became aware of as home, right there with 128 acres and a loan of $5,000. They worked and paid for that. They had 6 additional children, a family of 12. I was the 9th child. And over the years, I saw them work with a goal in mind to make farming an enterprise that they could, as a family, achieve and make a living off the land. They educated their children, the ones that wanted to go to college. They managed to send them to Prairie View. That was a college of choice at that time. When I came along and my dream was to go to Prairie View, I went first to a community college, Fordham Junior College, and then transitioned to Prairie View my junior year. Farming has been good. I learned a lot from my parents. I saw them work together. I saw them make plans. I saw them us as a family work toward a goal of making the payments, and we finished paying for that land in 1949, I believe, which was quite good. We bought it in 1940 and finished in 1949. So we always were aware of the importance of working, saving, spending our money wisely, and having a goal and achieving a goal. They are my parents, they are my heroes, and I love them dearly.
I want to say just a little bit more about my family, because land ownership has been a part of my family's history, dating back to right after slavery. My great-great-grandfather, Newton Collins, migrated to Texas in the 1840s as a free man, but was enslaved in Texas. After slavery in 1872, he purchased 100 acres northeast of Austin, Texas, from the family of Henry Warnell, one of the heroes of the Alamo. He traded that land for 500 acres southeast of Austin, which is still in the families today. I grew up in the house that was built by my great-grandfather, D. Gabriel Collins. The house was modernized by my parents, and it was used as their residence their entire life. And so I grew up there in a little community called Pilot Knob. It's near the current airport of Austin today. But land ownership has been a part of my heritage, and I intend to keep that going with my children and grandchildren. So we talk about land ownership and taking care of your business with my children and my grandchildren. And it is my intent that Red Hill Ranch is something that will stay in the family, just like that land in Austin. And so we're trying to not force them to keep this, but to teach them to love this land so they will want to keep this land. The operation here at Red Hill is basically a cow-calf operation with a commercial herd. We have approximately 200 cows. And I prefer to have the calves in the spring, and most of my calves are born in the spring. However, I do not separate the bulls from the cows. I'll take a live calf in the rain any day, and so we leave the bulls out all year long. I do enjoy the opportunity to invite and entertain groups of students here at the ranch. We've had students that come out from Prairie View, church organizations, and etc. Love to do a show and tell of what can be done by allowing people to come out and experience this here. But that's the type of operation we have. I generally purchase my hay. I believe I can purchase it cheaper than I can raise it, and then allows me to take the land that would be set aside for hay to grow more cattle. My involvement with agriculture really is influenced heavily by my father. My father lived on that land near Austin, Texas, his entire life. Loved that land. He taught all of us, all of his children, 11 of us, to also love the land and respect the land. And so he was really a hero of mine. I saw him operate, manage, purchase land, never sold anything, but he purchased land. I saw him do that, and I saw the value of that real estate increase significantly. Many folk in his family decided that going to California and other places was a place to offer better opportunities, and he made the opportunities right there on that farm where he grew up. That land, again, is still most of it's still in the family today, so he stayed there, and anybody that wanted to sell property and go to California or wherever they wanted to go, he was right there to purchase it and keep it in the family. So he was that link from my great-great-grandfather on down to retain the ownership of that land. We purchased our first tract of land in 1973 through assistance and financing of Capital Farm. Well, it was a farm bank, not farm bank, credit bank. And we've been a continuous customer of the farm bank system for 47 years.
Red Hill Ranch is a place where we can be free. Our children can come and just enjoy nature. It's so important, I think, for young people to experience outdoors, sunshine, learn about animals they love when they come off the plane, those that live out of state. They want to come and get on the Ranger and go straight to see the cattle. They talk about them like they're people. They have names for them. They are so delightful in their outlook on the ranch and the animals. They just make us chuckle. This is a great place for them. We want to think of succession. We want them to love it enough to always feel like they can come when they are adults and have their families. They can come. They can run this place. So we're hoping that the opportunity that we have acquired through all of the programs and putting this place in the shape that it is in, that it goes forward and is in the family for years to come.
The fruit is we're seeing some fruit in that our son is in North Carolina, and he has also purchased a farm in North Carolina, and his children are loving that experience. But his daughter says, "But I still love Red Hill."
Educator as well as a farmer, rancher, being brought up with my parents on a farm in Matagorda County, born there. I was able to see firsthand and experience life on land, how to manage, how to save, how to preserve foods, meats, save money so that you can have what you need financially. That has been a great asset for Ernest and I, and being able to manage financially to have what we need to purchase land and to manage the livestock, purchase feed, grow grains, and all such things as that. I credit having a mutual relationship with someone with a similar background as Ernest and myself, coming from ranch and farming backgrounds and wanting the same things, as being very instrumental in our moving forward over the years as we have. We have always, in our work life, lived in areas, but we always had purchased land so that we could experience our farm background life. This has been something that we wanted for our children, as well as to enrich ourselves with what we love. Being an educator, I have been able to inspire students, work with students to make it practical and real in their life, the value of an education, how to manage and save and set priorities for what is important in life. And I've used those farming backgrounds, the farming background that I experienced, and my education and my life with my husband to just enrich others, students, community people, and the organizations that we have been fortunate enough to become involved in, enrich community people as well. This is a great opportunity, I feel, to live your dream and to make it a successful venture, not only for your own family, your own children, but for the broader community as well. Our children love being in the agricultural life. They like the animals. They like being on the land, running, playing, bringing their friends out. And I've always tried to use the skills that my mother showed in learning about foods, preserving, cooking, canning, freezing, and making nutritious meals. I've tried to implement that so that when you are young and your choices affect what happens to you as you age and get older, I've tried to expose my children, as well as my students, to the importance of choices in foods and just living quality in your life.
I've been involved in the community by doing lots of things. I serve as a lifetime director with the Houston Livestock Show and Rodeo. I serve in several capacities at Prairie View A&M. I'm on the President's Advisory Board. I serve on the Agricultural Advisory Board. I also serve as a carrot representative for the Agriculture Department, and on an annual basis we visit Washington, D.C. to work with our Congress folks to try and ensure that land grant institutions receive funding. Locally involved soil water conservation boards and other activities that are that are important to the community. So we try to spend our time in retirement. We're both retired. Spend our time in retirement wisely and use some of our experiences and knowledge to benefit the community. I really feel good about being in the ranching business and hopefully serve as an inspiration or a mentor for a lot of others to get involved in this business. I'm very proud of the fact that there are probably close to a dozen individuals that own land today in operations because they saw what I was doing. One of my friends visited one of the earlier farms. We've been in this business since 1973 as adults, and he visited that first operation and said, if you can do it, I can do it. And the next thing I knew, he moved from a trail rider to a rancher, and very proud of that. I have a friend that's close by here in Walker County that has a large ranch because he saw what we were doing. And he had absolutely no experience in agriculture, but as a result of coming here, he's now in the business.